Yeah, hello everybody. I hope you see my screen right now. If
Yes,
you
we do.
do so, just give me a thumbs up and then I can start it. All right, so hello and welcome everyone. Today, me, myself, and of course, Gabriele, we both want to share you a new course concept that we have been working on the last couple weeks. And today we actually would like to share the introduction of this course concept to you. And we would like to get your feedback afterwards. So you don't need to take notes or anything, just be with us and be honest with us afterwards, because this is still a course that we continuously developing, and of course your opinion is valuable to us. We want to benefit from it, so if you can give us later on some feedback, what we can improve, what might be good already or what might not be so good right now, just help us with it. So yeah, the course, basically, this is the headline. It says it already. It's about design your lives, the most important project of all, your life. Yeah, so let me start right away. As I said already, the people facilitating are also the people who developed the course. It's Gabriele and myself. We're gonna join our forces. Gabriele, she's the expert when it comes to process psychology, and I have a background in design thinking. So we combine our two strengths, and we developed this course together. I think we don't need to introduce ourselves at large here, because you're all familiar with who Gabriele is, I assume. Me, you might not know that well, so maybe I'm just telling one sentence about me. Like, I spent probably the last 15 years in the creative industry, working for design and creative agencies, and studied design thinking. I'm also lecturing design thinking at university, and that's basically where we got together, because I also have a passion for positive psychology. I actually wrote my thesis on the theory of flow. So I started to actually learn from Gabriela recently, taking part of one of her courses. And we thought it's going to be a wonderful idea to combine those two methodologies or ideologies, and to develop a course for it. So that's more or less about myself. We can talk at length later on about this as well. I don't know, Gabriela, want you something to add? Is there something new in your life that maybe needs to be?
No, it's all fine. I think we pretty much know each other also from your great meetup flow we had a couple of months ago, and yeah, let's move forward.
Okay. So there's just like really basic housekeeping rules. I don't know how familiar you are with online courses, online workshops. We keep it really simple here and today. So if you want to say anything at any time, just lift your hand. If I won't recognize it, Gabriela is also there. She can interrupt me. So at any time, you feel free to interrupt. We would kindly ask you to, what you're already doing, I think, to put your microphone on mute, just to avoid any kind of background noises. As soon as you want to say something, just unmute yourself and ask your question. So
you can also write something in the chat at any time. I get an alert and I will read it out to Michael.
All right. Okay. Then so much for the house rules. Let's have a look at the agenda for today. As Gabriela said, we have about 45 to 60 minutes today, which is kind of a short term for introducing this course, because we want to introduce it not just by telling you a lot of stuff. We also want to engage with you and make it interactive and actually give you an exercise today as well that you can do while doing this course introduction. So for today, we have these agenda points. We are already in the welcoming phase. We're going to do a little check-in later on, because I think it's always important and interesting to see who is there, how are people doing, how are they here right now. So like a short round of introduction. Then we're going to talk a little bit more about the course in detail. What is it about? How can you benefit from it? Who is it for? And then we're going to dive in a little bit into design thinking and positive psychology, because you are more or less, as I know, all familiar or even experts in positive psychology. This part is something that we probably won't go into much detail, because you might be familiar and we don't want to bore you with any content that you already know. So this is going to be a short part of the presentation. And because then we go into one of the exercises we want to do with you. It's an exercise where you're going to apply design thinking as well as positive psychology, and you're going to develop your or redesign your perfect morning today. So this is the exercise. Before we kind of end this introduction with a more detailed course overview, an outlook how this course will be, and check in, and that's going to be the 45 to 60 minutes. So any questions so far? Everything okay? Everybody's feeling right? Then we could just dive into the check-in. Yeah, the check-in is, you might be familiar with it. It's a simple ritual. I highly recommend it to do it anytime, online, offline, as soon as you get together as a team. It's always a nice way to create psychological safety. It's a nice way to get present, to focus on the upcoming task or the content, and to tell us how you are here. Today, we want to do this with basically two questions. The first question would be like, in one word, how do you feel right now? And the other thing we would like to ask you is, what has been already good today? So maybe Gabriela, you want to start, and then you just pick one name, and then we do a round, basically.
Yes, wonderful. I feel relaxed, and it was great today to sit in the sun, to enjoy sun. That was really wonderful for me. Andrea?
Yeah, hi. I feel good, a little bit excited because of design thinking. I heard the word a few times, but I don't know what it is about. And what has already been good today? Survived another day in homeschooling, and I learned a lot about music and Programmmusik today.
Wow. Super. Thanks a lot. Adam and Larissa, two of you.
Yes, so maybe I will leave it. So for me, I feel a little bit confused, because we have so many different doctors to help us with the situation. So yeah, so confused, and think positive has already been good today. For me, I'm glad that Larissa's temperature is all the day stable below 40.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I feel like I'd like to be healthy again.
Yes.
Oh, and what was good today is to see how Adam's taking good care of me.
Yeah, wonderful.
So, Lucas.
Lucas.
Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good.
How do you feel? How do you feel, and what was already good?
I feel good. The weather is perfect here in Salzburg, and what has already been good is actually the weather.
Okay, thank you.
There has been, there did not happen, or my day did not consist of many things except the weather.
Great. The more relaxing. Thanks a
Yeah.
lot. Lily, what about you?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, I feel very motivated today.
Great.
Maybe because I got an invitation to the inner circle of the network marketing team I'm working with. And so I'm very proud of this and yes, motivated.
Wonderful. And this has been good already.
Yeah,
so you combined. Wonderful.
Exactly.
Thank you. Susanna, what about you?
Yes, I feel good. I'm sitting in the sun that I like very much. And it was good that I did my workout today. And I'm very proud of it, that I do so much of it.
Great. Great. You're a good role model.
Yes.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Elke, what about you?
Feel happy to be here and to see some people again. And I feel energized, and today it was good that I had a really interesting workshop already. It was about human design.
Ah, wonderful. Wonderful. Good prerequisite. Markus, what about you?
Hi, I also feel good. What has already been good? I had a very nice cake today, because my flatmate had birthday at the weekend and we still have cake at home. So yeah, I enjoyed the cake very much.
Lovely. Krista, what about you?
I feel good, yes. And I can agree with the weather. I went for a walk in the afternoon by the river and it was very nice.
Lovely. Veronica, what about you? You're the last in my list. No, Paul is there. Veronica? Veronica, can you hear us? Okay, then Paul, what about you?
Yeah, hello. I'm feeling great today, and I think it's due to some changes I made after the positive psychology seminar, webinar.
Super.
I made the resolution to look more about sleep, nutrition, and so on. And my activity tracker shows 9 hours and 40 minutes of sleep last night, and this is resulting in superpowers.
Wow. Wow. Miro will be glad to hear that. He will be proud. I will tell him.
Great.
Okay. Veronica says that she doesn't have a camera mic. Veronica, you could type into the chat how you feel today and what was already good, if you like. Because I think if I didn't, Michael, you have the last word then.
Yeah. Well, how do I feel? Actually a bit nervous, which rarely happens, but it's kind of excitement, I think, so it's good. What happened positive today is I already received news today that I will also be able to develop this course for a group of kids in Switzerland. So it means like kind of a redesign of the course, but and a different kind of audience. But it sounds very exciting, and I think that's good. That's good news. Yeah.
Sure. Congrats. That sounds great. Lovely.
All right. Then we can dive further into the course. I wrote something about it to give you an outline, but I can also promise you that during and in the end, we will actually see how the modules will look like. But this is just like a first kind of a summary what Design Your Lives is all about. First of all, you might recognize that it says Design Your Lives, not your life, because the idea here is that we all have kind of many options. We have many lives. So there's not this one pathway. We all, at any kind of moment, we have options in life, how we want to design our future, how we want to live in our future. So it's basically a choice with which pathway we want to go. So it's not this one life, it's many possible lives. And of course, we should try to take the preferred life we want to take. In summary, this course is basically to help everyone who is looking for change in their life. Quite often people don't know where to start. And this is also something where this course will help people who might think that they are stuck right now, that they need something to give them a little bit of a push or something to make a change. This is what this course will help you. So it will help you to shape your future. It will help you to like find new options, what you can do, how you can live your life in the future. So that sounds big, and it's a big topic, and it's an important topic. That's why we started with the headline that this is basically the most important project. It's your life, and you are in control of your life, and you can decide and define how you want to live your life. And I think all of us, every individual is looking for how to make the best out of it, how to live the best life you can live. And we're using positive psychology and design thinking to actually make that happen and to help people to live that kind of life. So you can see here on this chart that there's a couple of steps that kind of outline the idea of the course. In the beginning, we always start with where are you right now? Like, what is your life right now? What happened? And we assess your life on different levels to understand where you are and how we can help. In the further step, it's more about defining your so-called North Star, like what is really important for you? Where do you want to go? How can you combine your kind of private life and your work life to align it or integrate it to maybe to find more meaning and purpose in both of it. And then we're gonna get creative. We going to envision what life can be, what your life can be, and develop different possible futures for you. And if we are at that point already that we kind of have different ways where we can go to, we want to start and put it into action. We want to do some experiments. We want to go out and we want to try. What would this life be like? What would the experience for me like? So it's a very hands-on course. It's not so much about theory. It's more about practice. And this is it. This is the basic idea. And yeah, throughout this presentation, you will, I guess, learn more and more how we intend to help, how we intend to structure this kind of course, and to obviously design and redesign a better life. The concept of life design is nothing new. It has been developed some years ago by the Stanford University in the United States, with its I think for the past 10 years probably the best university in the United States. And the Design Your Life course, which they initially developed, has been the most popular course among their students. So for them, the focus was more or less to help students, undergraduate students, to find orientation in order to get the job they want afterwards. This has been so popular that other universities, like the University of St. Gallen, also is offering a workshop on Design Your Life. I'm not sure if they have a course on it, but they saw that it's popular and that it helps people, especially students. So they also did it in St. Gallen. I would say what Gabriele and me are doing is definitely not the same. So we're definitely not just copy paste the concept, but I would say we kind of stand on the shoulders of giants. So we saw how they are doing it, and we developed it further. So we developed it further with new tools. We also integrated positive psychology more into it, and developed something new. So yeah, I'm curious about your feedback later on, how you see it. But I think it has been very successful so far, and I think we made it even better. So I'm very, very curious and excited how this will turn out. Yeah, I told you this is supposed to be an introduction that is interactive, and therefore I did some things like this question, for example, that I want to introduce to you. So I would like you to think now, and don't overthink it. How satisfied are you with your life right now? And you should think about a number, and then later put the number into a tool that I'm going to share with you in a moment. But think about from a scale from 1, my life sucks right now at the moment, it's really bad, like I'm not really happy with it. And the other end is, my life is so awesome, I wouldn't change it with anyone else's life. So it's an amazing life. So on this scale, 1 very bad to 10 absolutely amazing, where do you see your life right now? So think about a number on this scale, and then because you're already sitting on the computer, if you open your browser and put in slido.com, it's a website, and it's a website with a tool on it, a voting tool. So if you enter the code that you see here, 77177, you're gonna find this question that I was just asking: how satisfied are you with your life? And there you should be able to put in your number. It is going to be anonymously, so no one will know what if you decided to put in a 1 or a 3 or a 5 or an 8. So it's absolutely anonymously. Maybe just give me a little hands up if you found the web page and if you are able to put in a number. Like, is it going well, or is it going not so well, or is it going really bad? Susanne needs some support maybe. Can you unmute your microphone so maybe we can guide you a little bit?
Okay.
So did you go to the slido.com web page?
No. Sorry.
No problem.
I can tell you my number. It would be easier.
Yeah. Let's wait a minute for that. Yes. Let's wait and see how far the others are. I'm going to switch to the poll. Okay. Okay, we have at least some people putting in their numbers. So you see my window, my screen, right? So actually we have the majority of the people saying 7. So I guess that's a good sign. 7, 8. We even have someone putting in 10. So someone is really excited about his life.
Yeah, that's the positive psychology, guys, you know.
Yeah. And there's also some people who say, yeah,
we can't see the results. That's true. We see your slides, but not your screen.
Okay.
Not the slider results. That's true.
I'm sharing it here again. Okay, doesn't want to.
There we go.
Can you see it now? I see it.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So we have also a few who say, yeah, I'm kind of in the middle, 5 and 6. So there's obviously room for improvement. But it's actually interesting if we compare that with the official statistics, because I also was looking up on the internet if I can find something, and you see my screen again, right?
Yeah, but it's empty. It's just white.
Okay, that's new. Okay, I stop share and then I share it again.
Yeah, great. Here we go. Now we see your slides again.
Yeah. So here you can see that the same question was addressed to people in Austria, and the average in Austria was 7.1. So I guess 7 was also the number that was the number the most people from you guys ranked.
Yeah.
So that's actually an interesting coincidence that we have the same, especially as because when the numbers when this statistic was done, it was certainly before Corona. So I guess this is the positive psychology impact that even in Corona,
we're all brainwashed, Michael.
there's resilience, and like people can cope better with situations like that. Okay, this was just like a small exercise, and I want to tell you that in the course itself, this kind of assessment is also important in the course. But of course, we're gonna do it in far more detail. We're gonna look at different aspects of life. We look at emotions. We look at the relationships. We look at your job. So not just like one general question. We will look at different kind of aspects to see where you are right now and how you can probably improve. Okay. Then I would continue and introduce you to some people that I think are interesting to you, because they might help you to better understand who this course is actually for, and if you can find yourself within these people. Because these people, they represent different life stages. So let me start with the first one. I'm calling her right now, I'll probably give her a name sooner or later, but the aimless undergraduate who really just has no clue what to focus on. So she's a student right now, and I mean, sooner or later she will need to find a job or study. But at the moment, she has a difficult time to kind of envision her future, to have an idea what she want to do in life. So that's one person who would probably really like such a course to make better decisions for herself. Another one is, I call him the doubtful job starter, who has actually just finished school, but he's now all of a sudden realizing that what he has studied before is actually not really what he wants to do with his life. So he might not want to find the job that he was studying for, because he realized, well, okay, I spent 3 years studying this, but it doesn't really excite me, and I just I just understand that I might do something completely different. This happens also quite a lot, I can tell you. The third one, this is more an older person, a person who is already having a successful career. She's, I call her the midlife achiever. So she's having a job. She's doing really good. Obviously, she's having a career. Maybe even she's having a really good salary. So she's successful. But what many people don't know about her, that actually at home she cries at night quite often, because somehow she feels that the job doesn't give her really purpose or meaning. And this also quite often happens with people in their 30s, 40s, that they worked for a couple of years and then they kind of feel like, okay, I'm successful, but something is missing. There's some kind of emptiness. Actually, I would like to have a change somehow, you know. So that's a third person who probably will benefit from such a course. And the fourth one is a person who is maybe at the end of his job career, of his job life, but we all know that it's not the end of life. And if you're in your 60s, most people are still very healthy and fit, and they want to do something, they want to be active, and they actually often want to do something, you know, that holds meaning. So they kind of look for a career after their career. And that's also often like a crucial point or a tipping point where a course like this can help these kind of people to make decisions and to think about what happens after my job career is done and I'm retiring, but I don't want to retire and do nothing, or, you know, I want to be active and I want to do something. So these four persons, these four people might help you to understand that in any kind of life phases, thinking about what can be next or what can be improved is something that we want to offer. And I personally, I have to say, I think I'm already from these four persons. I went through at least 3 of them already, and I went through them a couple of times. So I think it's actually quite important to do it not just once, but to do it often, to do it returning to, you know, think where you are right now, think what is good, what is bad, what can be improved, and yeah.
I think it's a lifetime job, Michael. I couldn't agree more, because there are these phases in our lives where you actually more or less forced to think about who do you want to be now in this phase. Yeah. Great. Mm-hmm.
So just to summarize this kind of, so there's different stages, and at each kind of stage or life stage, you have different needs. And I think for the undergraduate, it's more kind of orientation, like what are my options? What can I do? What will I do with my life? For the job start, it's more like making a good decision where to start, in what kind of company, what kind of industry, do something that you really like. For the third person, it's more like a career change because of this feeling that it doesn't hold that the kind of meaning that she's looking for. So it's more like making a change. And for the fourth one, it's more like the after career. So what can I do afterwards? And there's a lot of statistics out there. I told you already before, this is not something rare, it's more something common. The statistics I have here, it's mainly from the US, but it already says that, yeah, this is what it basically happens to almost everyone, to have these moments in life where you think and rethink and where you want to change something about your life. So I hope now you have a little bit of better understanding what this course is about, or what might be the benefit of it in different stages of lives. And now I want to tell you a little bit more about the way we're gonna do it, the methods we want to apply. And I told you already before, it's the main methods, the main ideologies are design thinking and positive psychology. So I quickly want to tell you a little bit about design thinking. Again, also, I'm going to simplify it here because I wouldn't say it's complicated. It is not actually, but it would need some time to explain to you. So I found a way to describe it quite simple for me. And I hope you will understand it as well with some funny, nice pictures. So design thinking, as I would explain it, is first and foremost, it's a methodology for problem solving. So it has been used in different industries, usually in the when it comes to innovation, which is all about problem solving. And as we can see in this picture here, we all know that kind of problem. Baby is crying, you know what to do. Solution is, you know, we need something that catches the awareness of the baby, and so it stops crying and is happy again. So problem solved. Design thinking goes a little bit further, because if we look at the next picture, we're going to see the perspective of the baby, and you see that the baby is just looking in from another perspective than the parents do, and the perspective of the baby might not be so good. So and this quite explains what is special about design thinking. Design thinking is a human-centered approach, which means that everything we do in design thinking, we always integrate the people that we are designing for. So in this case, it's the baby. So we take the perspective of the baby. In this case, because it's a baby, we probably cannot interview the baby. That might be hard, but we try at every stage in our process that we're going through in design thinking, we always integrate the people we are trying to develop a solution for. So that something like this cannot happen, so that the design would look different and the baby wouldn't look at the behind, or how do you say, ass of the toys. So I hope this explains what is the difference between normal problem solving and design thinking. I'm going to be a little bit further and describe just very roughly the design thinking process. The design thinking process is usually a process that goes through different stages. Usually it's those 5 stages that you can see here. Sometimes the terms are a little bit different. So sometimes it's understand, sometimes it's emphasize. So the terms might be a little bit different sometimes, but overall, these are the different stages that you go through. And as you can see here with the cycles, the idea here is that it's not a linear process. So you're not going from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 to 5. It's often going in circles. So you go back and forth, because sometimes you just recognize that something that you develop, like a concept or an idea you have somehow in the beginning, it mightn't really work out, because maybe the people you're designing for, they intervene and they tell you, no, you know, I don't like it for any reason, or it doesn't resonate, or it doesn't work with me. And then you have to go back again. So it's going back and forth. And that's what the model tries to tell. I quickly applied what that would mean for our Design Your Life course. So in the first phase, in the understanding phase, which is all about, you know, understand the people we are designing for, that would mean that we try to understand you. We try to understand and basically assess how your life is right now. What's going right, what's going wrong, what can be improved. So the different areas within your life. That would be the understanding phase. Then the design phase would be more about to kind of form a vision of your future life. So what should it be? How can it be improved? What's the kind of North Star in your life that you aim towards to? And then after having an idea how, like in what direction we want to go, then we would create many different options for you. Like what are the options, what are the possible futures that you could go towards? And this is the creative phase, where you not just create one future, you create many futures. Because in the next phase, the prototyping phase, you're going to develop from these different opportunities, you're going to develop experiments, because you want to explore these options. You want to see if they really resonate with you, or is it just something that you have in your mind, and as soon as you do it, you don't like it anymore. So you're going to do a lot of experiments, and you're going to test it. You put it into action to see for yourself, to put yourself into the shoes, if you really like it. So this would be like a rough outline to tell you how the design thinking process will be applied for the Design Your Life course. Is there any question right now? Because I think it's I'm going through quite fast, and I don't want to lose you on the way. So just give me a shout or a hands up whenever you have a question, or I can help you. Okay, then that's the good news. I told you it's called Design Thinker, but it's more actually Design Doer, which you just saw that we do a lot. We prototype, we test, we put things into actions, and we don't stay in our head. And it's a methodology that I've taught often, and it's not complicated. It's not rocket science. Yeah, I think it's actually the basic concept. I think just with these two slides, you probably understood already. So it's really not a big deal to learn and apply it, and that's why we are here, and that's why we're gonna guide you or the people going through the course and help to understand the idea and also the tools and methodologies that come with it. So this is the one side, and the other side is positive psychology, and this, of course, is the expertise of Gabriele. So I'll let you take over.
Thank you so much, Michael. I would like to add that the concept of design thinking might not be difficult, but we have to do it. We have to put it into practice. That's the difficult part. Actually, the same goes for positive psychology, which is the science of well-being. Yeah, the scientific study of what make people, yeah, the individuals and the whole communities flourish. Yeah, this is a quotation from the mission statement of IPA, and this is what it is. It's part of psychology, and it puts the focus on what went right, what goes right, yeah, and how can we also in the future, yeah, lead a good life. That's it. Again, it's not rocket science, and we have a lot of findings, and we have to apply it. And since it's all about us, our transformation, our focus on well-being, it fits nicely, of course, to design thinking, because it's all about creating positive habits, new habits, yeah, maybe, and being aware of what can I do for a flourishing life, for my flourishing life. Okay, so next slide. If we have one about positive psychology, yes. And this you all know, or mostly all know, that this is the core model. Yeah. And again, it's quite a simple model. That's the beauty of it. Yeah. So what do we need? What turned out to be the ingredients of a fulfilling life, of a good life? It's PERMA. You know, the Americans, they have nice acronyms for everything, and it's really handy. We can remember. So PERMA. Positive emotions we need engagement, meaning we have to go into flow, at least from time to time. And if it's even on the workplace, the better. The R from a relationship, it's highlighted here because definitely sometimes it takes only one good relationship, one person who really cares, yeah, to change everything for the better. Yeah? So that's extremely important, to have good and nourishing relationships, meaning in life, meaning in whatever you're doing, yeah, in your work, in your relationships, is very, very important. And the same goes for achievement. Yeah? We are keen on getting things done, achieving our goals. Yeah? And that is it. And you can even measure. Yeah, we were talking about measurements earlier, or assessments. Yeah? This is a wonderful way to assess the level of well-being, the level also of satisfaction. I will put in the chat a link where the founder of positive psychology, Marty Seligman, is providing us with an entire test center for all kinds of moods and flourishing and perma measurements. Yeah, let me give that in the chat. Here we go. Yeah, so that's really great. It is from the Penn State University, and it's amazing what you can measure. Yeah, unbelievable, very helpful, and everything is based on really decent science. That's the best thing about positive psychology, that it is a science and that we can rely. It's evidence-based, and they did it in many experiments, and found out that actually this is what we need for a good life. And we can measure the PERMA level, let's say. So I think and at the end of our presentation today, we will have this assessment, yeah, this way to how can I judge where I am? Oh no, in the beginning you mentioned already. Yeah. So starting from what? From number 7, we did that. You can also do a test. You can do lots of tests in this test center I just shared with you, and assess all the various kinds of well-being and life satisfaction and strength. Very important, as you know. And that's it's a good way to start, yeah, to assess where you are, and then where do you want to be and how do you can get there, for instance, by applying your character strength. Okay,
yeah,
I think that is it.
And talking about applying, that was the perfect a cliffhanger, actually, because I told you I want you to do an exercise. I want to give you like a taste maker, something about the course, which you actually can do right now. And of course, designing your life, it's a big topic. It doesn't fit into like a 1-hour course. And that's why we did something what designers often do. They break down like a big challenge into smaller chunks. And that's why we thought for today, we're gonna do this as well. So instead of designing your future life or one of your future lives, we decided to give you an exercise to design your or redesign your positive morning. So we all have mornings. We all wake up in the morning, and we all have a certain routine that we do in the morning before we go to work. And I would like to give you the challenge right now to do this as an exercise, and you're going to apply two of the basic methodologies and tools coming from both design thinking as well as positive psychology. One is, as you can see on my chart already, it's the customer journey map. This is something that is coming from design thinking, and it's a tool to kind of visualize and to map out the different interactions and the different feelings you have when you do something, when you're experiencing something. So in that case, it's your morning. You're gonna do something. Maybe the first thing you have is the alarm clock rings, you know, and then this makes you feel already like good or bad or not so good, like something, you have a feeling attached to it. And then you get out of bed, you maybe have a shower, you maybe have breakfast. There's always some steps you're going through in the morning before you leave the house and go to work. And I would like you to, in a minute, to team up. So we're gonna have breakout rooms, and we're gonna randomly put you together as a team of two. So 2 people will come together in this breakout room and together doing this exercise. So the first step is to do this customer journey map, where one of you has to be the interviewer, and the other one is going to be the one who's going to be interviewed. So one is asking the other, how is your morning like? Tell me more about your morning. What are you going to do step by step in your morning? And what do you feel in each step? Is it a positive or a negative feeling? So this should look something like that. As you can see on the right-hand side, there's this format that we provide, where you have this scale, negative, positive, and then you're going to map out the different moments or micro moments you're going through in your morning. So this is just an example that I was putting in here. Alarm goes off, taking a shower, and there's always a feeling attached, negative or positive. And yeah, I basically want you to do this as a group of 2. One is asking and the other one is answering. And we provided a link for you where you can do this actually online, but it's up to you. You can do it on a piece of paper, make some notes, or you can use a digital whiteboard, which we often use in workshops. But it's totally up to you. I'll give you a little bit more details about the exercise. So the one point is the customer journey map, where you map out your experience. And the other task here is to reframe something. This is a technology that we all know from positive psychology. It's seeing something in a different way, with a different perspective, with a positive perspective. Maybe Gabriele, you can elaborate a little bit on positive reframing.
We ran out of time a little bit. People are asking how long the breakout session will be. Michael, did we say 10 minutes or 5 minutes?
We would like to do it in 10 minutes.
10 minutes, okay.
Maybe we can rush and do it in 5. Yeah, it's the first time that we're doing it, and we already we see that we're running out a little bit. So maybe let's do it in 5.
Okay, okay. Well, reframing is basically a very conscious way, not unconscious, but a conscious way, a humorous way in many cases to put the focus on a positive part of a negative thing. Yeah, if you never have time for breakfast in the morning, that's annoying maybe. And now with this fasting, the intermediate fasting, you could reframe and say, well, but that's great, because then, since I do not have time for breakfast, I follow this trend of fasting, and I'm getting younger and younger because this is the new trend. That would be reframing, a very conscious way of saying, but it's not that bad, it's actually good.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna put you together in a second. You're always gonna be 2 people. One is asking, the other one is sharing his or her experience, and then your task is gonna be come up with something that can be improved. So based on the experience that is shared, think about something, brainstorm quickly, how can this morning experience become better? And the other one, reframe something, something that you at the moment perceive as a rather negative experience. Try to look at it, to see it in a different positive way, and see it and reframe it into something positive, as Gabriela just did with the breakfast, for example.
Okay, is that clear?
Is it clear?
Are there any questions before we break? Okay, so here we go. Here we go. People come back.
It was a challenge, I assume. Yeah. Yeah, we're also learning, and like my first learning is we should have 1.5 hours, and 1 hour, definitely to give you some more time and to give you a little bit more explanation. Yeah, how was it for you? Was it easy? Did you use the board, or did you use did you interview yourself and maybe put something on a piece of paper, or how did it go for you? Maybe someone who wants to share a little bit of his or her experience, and maybe also if there were anything that could be improved or could be reframed, actually.
We were actually talking about how to change the habit of looking on the mobile phone in the morning at first. And it was easy to reframe it because, it's good to be in contact with the people and to be up to date. But it was like, okay, how can we change it in terms of design thinking? So it's, okay, we start with sports, yoga at first, and then afterwards we will look at the mobile phone. Is this already design thinking?
You're muted.
Sorry. Yeah, it is a part of design thinking. The customer journey map helps you to understand and break down the different interactions you're going through. So it kind of asks you to look at it in more detail, and also then later on to go into more detail and to ask certain questions like, why am I doing this? What is it for? So it helps you to identify problems and challenges by breaking up this kind of whole experience, the morning, into different parts of the experience. So it's a tool within design thinking. It's not design thinking at all, because that's the whole ideology, but it's a tool within design thinking.
Thank you.
So who else would like to share some experiences, some insights, aha effects?
Otherwise, I'm just picking one. Like Markus. How was it for you? Did you do it with the board, or did you do it without?
Yeah, we didn't. How should I say? We didn't build a real or a customer journey. We just talked or wrote in the chat what's the baddest moment in the morning is, and I said it's waking up and feeling still sleepy or something. Yeah, and yeah, more or less the result would be to get to bed earlier. Yeah. And the other thing was, just let me take a look in the chat.
You have Red Bull next to you.
Yeah, but yeah, more or less. But the first thing I do in the morning is making a coffee. But yeah, Red Bull, but I don't like Red Bull so much. So
just joking.
Yeah, and the reframing thing would be to try to have a positive attitude
towards this feeling.
To be positive with the appointments you have over the day. Yeah. more or less, that's it.
And the sleepiness, actually, this is a wonderful state of ready to meditation. You know, when you're sleepy, then you could, you know, you could practice positive interventions. It's very good, this state of mind where everything is still sleepy. You know, then you can.
Yeah, I tried this once. I tried to go to a meditation at I think 8 in the morning when I was a student, but yeah.
Too relaxing. Yeah, that's quite.
I really
normal.
had troubles to not fall asleep during the meditation.
It works even better when you fall asleep during a meditation. It's fine. Okay, lovely.
Yeah, so this was just basically a simple exercise, which we normally would give you probably at least 15 minutes to do. But it somehow should illustrate a little bit that when we're going to design your lives, that we don't start with a big thing, that we kind of step by step have a look at the different areas and what's happening, and then try to find solutions for it. And I think the morning actually for us is quite important, because the way we start our morning often determines how well our day goes. And this is also something from positive psychology. Like if you have, there's this ratio about negative experiences and positive experiences. And I think it's Barbara Fredrickson that says you need to have at least 5 positive experiences in order to cope with 1 negative. But Gabriele, maybe.
Well, she said 3 to 1. That was the first result, that positivity ratio. But obviously, it was Gottman, that a famous pair therapist. They even came up to 5 to 1. Yeah. And it's due to our negativity bias, of course. Yeah, we're so much focused on the bad things and on negative feedback, and we just overlook then all the good thing around us. You know, all the positive emotions we also have. Yeah, we just and that's the good way. And the positivity test, really try it out. It's online. When you searching positivity test Fredrickson, then it takes you 2 minutes, yeah, to do that. And it's very interesting. You, even when you're very, you know, sunny type of person, and you quickly fill in these questions, then you come up with, if you're lucky, yeah, with a ratio of 1 to 1, yeah? Or 1 to 2, then you are the utmost optimistic person, and it should be 3 to 1. So it's not that easy to achieve that.
Yeah, and
it's training.
And with exercises like this, where you actually map out your experience, you will be able to find certain pain points, and you will be able to redefine those pain points and maybe transform them into something positive. So if you wake up by a loud alarm clock, you might just change the sound of the alarm into something more natural. For example, to have first positive, like a more positive experience than just a loud, noisy kind of wake up call. So you might have these little like levers where you can change some things a little bit, and then the sum creates something positive overall.
Yeah, and these very small positive interventions, as we say, they help a lot. If you think about the 3 blessings, you can do that in the evening, but you can do that in the morning. You can look forward, even perspective. I look forward to 3 nice things. Yeah. To smell now my fresh brewed cup of coffee, to smile at a stranger, I will try that out, or a little kind of act of kindness, you know. So this helps, of course, also to reframe these, or to put the right proportion between negative and positive.
Okay, so this was kind of a first exercise, and before we end, I would like to share with you how the overall course would look like the curriculum, basically. And this is, let's say, it's not final, because we also want to have your feedback and we want to improve, but it's a first idea, basically, how this could look like. And I'm going to share my screen for this again with you, and you should be able now to see it. right? Can you see it?
Yeah.
Okay, perfectly. So basically for now, we have decided one way how to do it is we could split up the whole course into 6 different modules. And as you can see, the different module names, they're basically applied from the design thinking process steps as well. So there's in the beginning, there's a understand and discover phase where it's about the assessment, understand yourself better. Then the next module is more about defining your own compass, defining your North Star, where you want to go. The third module is more about reframing. So thinking about if you are stuck right now, how can I get unstuck? How can I make first steps into this right direction? Then it's about ideating in module 4, where there's different ideation techniques that we're gonna guide you through. For example, there's one, the visualization technique, where you kind of visualize your future. Another one is the Odyssey plan, where you develop different future scenarios. So this is more about opening your mind, thinking about many different possible futures, many possible future lives that you can have. And then we're going to prototype. So we're going to see what can we actually do to make this happen. How would it look like to make first experiments, to develop a plan, like a step-by-step plan. What can I do? What can I do now? What can I do next? And how can I actually get a better feeling and understand it, like testing it, seeing for yourself, talking to people maybe who are already there, who already maybe have this job that you dream of, or have kind of the work-life balance that you're striving for. So going out actually to talk to people, to get feedback, and getting closer to where you want to be in the future. So this is kind of an outline, and of course there's more behind, and there's many more models, and it always depends what kind of frame we are using. So this right now is structured into 6 modules, which would probably be 6 days at least. But this could also be an online course that where you have maybe 1 hour a day, and then the whole course stretches over the time of maybe 1 month. So the content kind of stays the same, but the packages can vary, and they also vary depending on the people we have in the course. If this course is going to be for kids, of course the way of doing it might differentiate than doing it with adults, of course. So it's important where the people are in their lives right now. Okay, I have talked a lot and fast, I know, but I hope that this somehow was valuable for you, that you understood what the benefit is all about, and we would ask you to give us a little bit of feedback, and quite frankly, be open. Is there something that you like? Is there something you don't like? Is there something you see potential, or something where you just didn't get or didn't understand from what I was explaining? So yeah, just be open and frank, and give us a little bit of feedback.
So we got one very nice feedback from Elke. She says, thank you very much. It is really interesting. I would like to try more tools. And you can also unmute yourself, right? People do not need to write it down. You can also say it if you wish.
Thank you for the course. I think the combination of positive psychology and the design thinking tools is very interesting. Like especially this combined type of offering these two methods we practiced today.
Mm-hmm. Thank you so much, Lucas. Thank you.
Thanks.
Wonderful. Thank you. Veronica says a bit of both, but thank you for input and ideas. Oops, now I lost it. Sorry. A bit of both, but thank you for input and ideas. I liked it very much. Hope we have a second session. Haha. Thank you so much, Veronica.
Yeah, I think the approach is very interesting and bringing them together as a very good and I think potential maybe be a bit more dynamic and a bit faster maybe, so we can do more stuff together.
Yeah. I agree. Thank you, Larissa. And all the very best for you. Recover fast. What else, guys? Don't be shy. We will not be cross with you. Okay, Michael, I think this was it. Oops. Now he disappeared. It's interesting. Yeah. Okay, guys, thank you so much for your time. We really ran out of time. Sorry for that. It was my fault, of course, because I thought to Michael, but don't mind. Just convey the message you want to, and you do have time. So if you're interested, please, actually all, if not, many, if not all of you did already register for our newsletter, so we will keep in touch anyhow. Looking forward to your participation. Yeah, Michael.
Yeah, sorry, I lost the connection for a moment.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks a lot from my side. Sorry for the overtime. That's something I learned definitely. To ask for more time for that. Yeah, I hope you see some value, and Gabriele and myself will continue working on it and improve it, and try to introduce also new tools, new parts of the course with you in the future.
So stay tuned. Have a wonderful evening, and see you next time. Next Monday. In 1 week, we have our alumni evening. There we will have 2 hours, and there again, it will be Michael who will guide us through a wonderful journey. It's all about flow and positive psychology at work. So maybe we can nicely, build on what we heard today and do some more exercises.
Yeah, definitely.
How to get into flow.
Yeah.
So stay tuned. I will send out the invitation to Zoom link, and then there it will be 2 hours, and it will start at 7, from 7 to 9. This is our well designed regular meeting. It's always the last Monday of the month, and there this time again it will be most likely it will be in English again, since Michael has so many contacts and sends it out in his flow meetup mailing list. Great.
Thank you.
Michael, the last word is on you.
I have nothing to add anymore. Thank you for participating. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see you soon again.
Yeah, see you guys. Looking forward. Bye. All the
Bye-bye.
best. Have a great evening. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thank you, Michael. That was gorgeous. Thanks.